What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast for the Fedex St. Jude Championship 2022 DFS show. DB here. I got Pat. We got podcast juice. We didn't even talk about that, Pat. I got some vodka tonight. Vodka drink.
But
Beer 30.
You got anything with that? I got just a beer tonight. Little southbound.
You like that
scattered sun, baby. Scattered sun. We're still in the summer. It's very hot here, DB. It's freaking
hot here too. Hot here, hot in the podcast streets. We just got done doing the betting show. Pumped about it. Big field, strong field. First event of the playoffs. I'm excited about it. We're going to talk some DraftKings, talk some strategy. Who we think's the chalk. Who we think a cash pick could be. Who we think you could pivot to. Our favorite plays. Our fades in each range. It's going to be a good time. We're going to get to it. We're presented to you by our friends at Fantasy National. That is the place to go. The one-stop shop. If you're going to play DFS golf, if you're going to bet on golf in any capacity, if you're playing in a one-and-done league, if you're playing in some sort of office pool league and you bet, you spend more than, $100 a year on betting on golf, then you're an idiot if you don't have Fantasy National. You're a freaking idiot. You should be kicked in the face for being an idiot, okay? We've been using Fantasy National for 5 years. FantasyNational.com/TJ is where you need to go to sign up and get 20% off a weekly, monthly, or annual membership. We got people in the Nut Hut winning all kind of money. One of our guys, Illegal Form Nation, just last week in the Wednesday night live chat came on. He was giving his take on some DFS strategy. And he's like, and if you guys don't have Fantasy National, then you're playing DFS with two hands tied behind your back. In other words, you're an idiot and you suck. So go to FantasyNational.com/TJ and get it and get that 20% off. And then after you've had it for a week or a month and you say, you know what, I need this for more than that. I need it for a year. You can still keep your 20% off discount. All right. Do that there. Pat, let's get into it. Let's start talking some lineups. Let's start talking what we doing, where are we going, where are people
I don't know.
going.
I feel like I need to be saluting you right now. Very aggressive. Just, do what I'm saying you do.
Do what I'm saying you do. We didn't have, what I didn't do is I did not roster Tom Kim last week. I did not roster any Tom Kim whatsoever, to my detriment. I had plenty of Sung Jae. I said it. I said I was going all in on Sung Jae in the Wednesday night live chat in the Nut Hut. I had a lot of Sung Jae. I had some, had some of him, but I didn't have any Tom Kim. It is what it is. A nice young boy, though. Seems like the kind you'd bring home to mom if you were into that. But yeah, good kid. Happy to see him win. Let's talk the top of the board. 9K and above on DraftKings. It's a Studley field, people. Studley field. Rory at 11K. Pretty soft, if you ask me. Scotty Scheffler at 10-8. Xander at 10-6. Cam Smith 10-5. Cantlay 10-3. JT 10-2. Rahm 10. Look at that. Rahm. The what is that? The seventh price player on the board. Matt Fitzpatrick, 9,800. Tony Finau. Willie Z, your boy. Cam Young, Jordan Spieth, and Victor Hovland round out the 9K and the 10K range. Patrick, by the way, Listener League Finals goes down this week. Yes. If you are in the Listener League Finals, then you are getting an invitation this week. And you better be in the Nut Hut because only if you have an active Nut Hut membership will you win. Even if you enter a lineup and you win, guess what? If your Nut Hut membership isn't active, you ain't winning, homie. Second place is winning. The trip to Georgia to play golf with Pat and I in Savannah, or Pat and I here in Augusta at Champions Retreat. Your call. It's our third year doing this, and it all comes down to this, the Listener League Finals. Your invitations will be sent to you via Nut Hut Butler AC. We'll send those out to you this week. I'm pumped about that. Pumped to see who it is. I hope it's somebody cool, and I hope you're not a loser. That's what I hope. I guess you're a winner if you win, so good for you. But that happens this week. And then, we got like the Tour Championship in a couple weeks, and then we got like a week break, and then we got the President's Cup, and then the new season starts, and you can get right back in the Nut Hut Listener League for a chance to win a trip to come play with us. So check that out. You don't want to miss that. All right, Pat, talk about this range. First of all, what are you going to do with Willie Z after last week?
I told you before the show, I told you on the betting show that I'm not talking about him. I'm not mentioning his name.
Talk about who?
The guy. The guy with the letters in his name that are near the end of the alphabet.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not gonna.
So you're not gonna give any takes on Willie Z.
No, but I'll let you do. I'll let you do that. If you want to do that, you can do that.
I will go ahead and do that. I'm on Willie Z this week. I think he's my cash lock this week. He is the cash lock. Obviously, play him in GPPs if you want. I like him in cash too. If you're going to do that, I like it. Who do you think? So, talking about chalk, I was trying to sit here and figure out where I think the chalk is going to be. I think people are going to play plenty of Rory. I don't think the 11K price is scary enough. It's too high. I think people are going to play Rory. There's plenty of good names down in the 6K range. I was kind of messing around with it. You can play Rory, another 10K stud, and even get an 8K stud in there and still round out a decent lineup. 124 players in the field, top 65 in ties make the cuts. You're going to have a higher percentage of 6 of 6 this week. I think a couple things. With that higher percentage of 6 of 6, be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be more aggressive than you normally are. Be like way more aggressive than you normally are. Okay. Get comfy. Being uncomfy is another thing. Like, your lineups might make you feel something in there may make you go, ugh. Like, that's okay. You need a little bit of that. And then when we get down to the lower range, play the really high upside guy. Don't play a 6K guy that just has a high floor, but you don't think he could finish the top 10. Let's play high upside players. But I think it's very easy to play Rory and fit in those players in the 6K range. So I don't think people are going to avoid Rory. I think Rory's going to be chalk. I think Cam Young is going to be chalk because he's Cam Young and he's been doing the damn thing. And you get him at 90, where is he at? He's like 9,300, like really cheap. It feels really cheap for Cam Young. I think people are going to go there. And then I think people are going to go to Finau. Coming off the 2 wins, he didn't win at this golf course last year, but he won the Northern Trust, the first event of the playoffs last year, at 9,700. That's where I think it's going to go. I mean, what do you agree with some of those? Do you think there's somebody in here I'm missing? Obviously, you got a lot of big names up here, so it's going to be somewhat spread out, But I think Rory, Cam Young, and Finau, at least here on a Monday night, to me would be the guys that people are going to gravitate to the most. Do you think people will play Cam Young and Finau over Willie Z? Like, rank those 3 for me, because that's where I couldn't figure out, like, how are people going to treat Willie Z relative to Cam Young and Fitz and Tony in there? Because that 9K range feels like people want a lot of it, but you can't play them all.
Well, I think if we're talking about those 3, I think you would go probably Finau, then Young, and then that other guy, because I think that other guy, the sentiment is waning for him, and so I feel like he's going to be third on that list as far as ownership's concerned. But I do agree, Rory's definitely going to be high end. You're probably going to have to make a little bit of a decision there whether or not you want to go with him or not. I can't fade Rory, so I would. But if we're talking about favorite plays, not just ownership, for me, it's Justin Thomas at 10-2. I'm a huge fan of him. I talked about him on the betting show. Won here in the past. He checks pretty much every single box that you want to look at here on this golf course, other than maybe putting on Bermuda. But still, JT, love him this week. I like Jon Rahm this week, right below him. I don't like him as an outright bet, but I do like him in DFS. I think you're going to get probably some of the lowest ownership that you could get on Jon Rahm, unless for some reason people just decide that they want to play him because they think he's too cheap and he's the 7th lowest price guy here in this range and blah 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 whatever. I don't care. I think Rahm is going to be a good play this week, and I think that he can offer some upside at his price. And I think because I think he's going to have low ownership, so I like those 2. Those are my 2 favorites. And then I like Jordan Spieth at 9,100. I mentioned him on the betting show. Big fan of Jordan this week. I think Jordan's a good cash play.
You said Rahm was one of your favorites.
I don't. I mean, he's there. Yeah. So is Jordan Spieth. Yeah. I can say I can have one more than one favorite, right?
No,
I'm not allowed to have more than one favorite.
No, dumbass. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, duh. We do this every week. Like, you pick more than one player, you dickhole. I'm not saying that. I just asked if you mentioned Rahm. Did you say Rahm was one of your favorites?
Yes.
Okay. I don't like that. I think Rahm is jacked up right now. I don't
I
do
don't understand how
agree
that
in
had to be like an aggressive conversation.
because you're
Like,
like, I mean, we can have more than one favorite, right? Am I allowed to have more than one favorite? Yes. I didn't that wasn't it. Jeez.
I know he is very aggressive. He's already coming out on the show, Sam, talking about how you suck if you haven't downloaded and
You do
joined
suck.
Fantasy National. I mean,
You
you're
do
very
suck.
aggressive on this. I'm just an innocent person sitting here just talking about things. You're very aggressive, DB. Very aggressive.
Rahm sucks right now, equally to people who suck and have never given Fantasy National a try and use promo code TJ. I just Rahm is busted right now. The short game is bad. He's given us no indication that he's ready to do anything decent. You know, even though he's a 7th prize player in the field, like I still want him to finish top 10, top 12. I mean, I do see where he's going to be. He is going to be the guy everybody's going to avoid. That's the only thing. So I can give that to you. I'll concede that because it's an attractive pivot. I just wonder how low is Rahm really going to get? You know, at 8%, 6% Rahm that starts to get attractive. I will admit that does start to get attractive. I guess I'm looking at other pivots like possibly Scotty. If everybody jumps to Rory, I could see Scotty being a pivot that's very interesting. Both you and I liked Matt Fitzpatrick on the betting show. I like Fitzy here. There's a lot of good names in here. Obviously, this is where you got to plant flags. You can't play them all, and we got to wait until Wednesday kind of shapes out with ownership before we really commit. But yeah, I don't know that there's chalk in here that I am so excited about that I'm just ready to take down and be the chalk gobbler on anybody. Even though I like Finau a lot, and I like I mean, I do like Willie Z this week a little bit. I think I can gladly pivot off of the highest owned players in this range and be fine. Okay, that's
Okay.
the 9K range.
Did you mention like a possible cash play up here or not?
Yes, I said Willie Z. I led with
Okay.
that.
Sorry.
Willie
Good.
Z is my cash play.
No.
Did you want to give a cash play?
I did. Jordan Spieth. I was one that I mentioned that as you were yelling at me about Rahm. I said that. So you
Oh, you
missed
said it
that
while I
part.
was yelling. Why would you say it while I was yelling?
I don't know. I was trying to get it out because you were yelling so much. It was like trying to
You
get
just
the
had to
last
go.
word.
So because I was yelling at you, your natural response was just to go, Jordan Spieth the cash.
Yeah.
That's what you had to do?
I didn't know what to do. So I just threw that out there.
Try that on your wife. Babe, Jordan Spieth and cash, okay? Ugh.
So stop
Get
yelling
off
at
me.
me.
Okay, let's move on. Before we get to the AK range, I got to remind everybody that PXG makes world-class high-performance golf equipment for golfers of every skill level, from their newest, most technologically advanced Gen 5 golf clubs to the more budget-friendly 0-11 line of sticks. PXG delivers unbelievable quality, distance, forgiveness, and feel, and they don't sell off the shelf. Every club is customized to fit your individual swing. You can buy online at pxg.com by calling 844-PLAY-PXG or by visiting a PXG store or fitting studio near you. PXG. Nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
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 Get some irons.
It sounds like, remember Homestar Runner?
What?
Anybody in the chat remember Homestar Runner? That dumb cartoon that came out when I was in college? Maybe you're too old for that.
I'm too old
Sam,
for
do you
that.
remember Homestar Runner? It sounds like the guy that narrated Homestar Runner. Gosh dang it. Surely somebody remembers this in the chat. Anyway, after all that, Jacob Hyatt in the chat. What do we do with Rahm? Well, listen, I mean, honestly, I don't know, like the the textbook game theory part says if Rahm is sub 10%, 8, 7, whatever percent, like you should probably have some shares. It doesn't mean you have to go all out, but it means you should probably have some shares. The question is it going to be one of those situations where everybody sees him at 8% on Wednesday night, and then on Thursday everybody jumped on him because they had a low own. Yes, see, people in the chat get this. David McGarvey, strong bad. It's yes. See, people get this. People get Homestar Runner. I'm telling you. Thank you. King of Town, Steven Shannon. See, people get this. This is good. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Anyway, I just think I'll still pass. It's like what I've been doing with Webb Simpson for freaking however many weeks. And I know Rahm is way better than Webb Simpson, but everybody's been doing the same song and dance of Webb Simpson on short golf courses or golf courses where Webb's had a great history. Everybody's like, oh, you got to play Webb if he's low owned, and he's low owned. And I still have continued to avoid him, and it still pays off because he sucks right now. He sucks. So I don't know. Like, I still think I'm probably going to avoid Jon Rahm, but maybe the play is not to do that. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before.
I don't understand why we're saying he's like this broken player when he won at Mexico, 10th at the Memorial, 12th at the US Open. It's not like he's been like off the planet. It's because he's number one in the world and he's not playing like number one in the world. So he's regressed a little bit. Okay. But he's 7% owned at the Open Championship.
Yeah, and he finished 34th.
I mean, there's some upside if you get a 5 or 6% owned Jon Rahm in this field, and he well.
Would you
rather miss that? Would you rather miss that or take a chance in a GPP in that? For me, I'd rather take a chance in a GPP in that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the play may be to do that. Now he's played here 3 times in a 60-man field event. He finished 52nd in 2020. He did finish 7th in 2019. He finished 17th in 2018. So, if he had the same salary then as he has now, he would have paid off in 1 out of 3 years for you. But I don't know.
I don't want to be on the other end of the I'm going to doubt Jon Rahm bandwagon if that's what we're getting to at this point. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, golf people who don't. It's not like you can't have a
golf people who don't what? What were you about to say? Like who don't watch golf or something?
I'm saying
about to go into one of those rants.
No, I was going to say pump the brakes. It's not like you can't have a little bit of a bad stretch and then make a turnaround. I mean that's what happens in golf. So let's not go overboard just because because then I think you're kind of you're sort of talking yourself into probably a bad play doing so. You can't sit here and say that. Like I'm seeing in the chat, John's talking about Webb and Rahm are the same caliber of golfer. That's totally not even true.
He didn't say Webb and Rahm are the same caliber.
He said Webb is better than Jon Rahm. Sorry, Webb is better than Jon Rahm.
He said might be better.
Okay, well, either way, if you want to go that route, that's fine. I'll choose the opposite.
All right, let me start us off. Let me start us off in the 8K range. I got names to mention and things to talk about in the 8K range. All right, you got Colin Morikawa, who is also possibly broken. I don't know. Like, he's not been doing much. He's kind of been, MIA a little bit. Sam Burns, 8,600. Sung J M, 85. Hideki at 84. Lowry, 83. Horschel, 82. Neiman, 81. And Tom Kim, 8,000 even. That is your 8K range. For me, the cash lock is Billy Ho. You're going to save some cash with Billy Ho. You're going to spend $8,200 on Billy Boy, and he's going to pay off for you. He loves TPC Southwind. Absolutely loves TPC Southwind. Has played fantastic at TPC Southwind the last 10 years. Loves Bermuda. He can chip on this Bermuda stuff. He can putt on Bermuda. He's accurate off the tee. He just won a few weeks ago. He's won the FedEx Cup before. He's a baller. Billy Ho is your cash play, and I love him in tournaments as well. People don't like Billy Ho in general, so sometimes he ends up lower owned than he should be just because people don't like him. Because whatever, I guess he's kind of off-putting at times, but I like Billy Ho.
But I agree. I like him as a cash play.
He can be at times. I like Sung J M a lot. I think Sung Jae and Tom are going to be chalky. Tom Kim. I'm wondering about Morikawa. I almost want to put Morikawa in the chalk range as well, even though he's playing poorly, because people see the $8,700 price tag, and I can get Colin Morikawa on my team for $8,700, and that feels like a hell of a deal. Now I am definitely not playing Colin Morikawa. I'm definitely not. He's horrible on Bermuda, both chipping and putting. I think, and I talked about this on the betting show, but people probably are not going to talk enough about how hard it is to chip on Bermuda grass, grainy Bermuda grass. They're going to talk more about putting. It's much harder to chip, and Morikawa is no good chipper. That's for damn sure. We figured that out. So and that's something I think you have to do around here. I don't see it for Morikawa. I won't be playing him. I think people will play him, but maybe I'm wrong. Where do you think the chalk's going? I think for sure it's going to Sung Jae and Tom Kim. It's going to both of those guys. Anybody
Okay.
else in this range you think it's going to?
I don't think it's going to Morikawa, actually.
Okay.
I disagree there.
Well, I told you I was undecided. Part of me thinks it will because they're going to see the name and the price. That's all I'm saying. And then part of me thinks they won't because of how poor he's been playing.
Yeah. So the initial question you have here is who I think is going to be the highest owned in this category.
Yeah, anybody outside of Sung Jae and Tom Kim. I mean, I think those two are the no-brainer chalk plays.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we
I think
missing anyone else, or is that it?
people are going to continue to ignore like a Joaquin Neiman. He's not going to get a lot here.
I think it could be a pivot. Yep.
I think Sam Burns is going to end up being a good pivot. I still don't understand why he tends to be just overlooked, as good of a player as he is and as much as he wins. So I think Sam Burns is going to be one that I like. I do like Morikawa this week. I mean, I think he's this could still be a good week to play him despite the putting and the scrambling. Still a fantastic ball striker. Has played well in spurts this year. But if I get him, and I only say it because I want to play him if I get a good ownership number. I don't want to play him chalky. So if you're right and he is chalky, I'll be off of him Wednesday. Like if we're in the chat. Yeah, if we're in the chat on Wednesday and Morikawa's chalky, I would probably go. He'd be the one that I would say I'm off of. But if I could get a lower owned and a little bit more of a leverage play in Kawa, yeah, I would definitely play him. Sam Burns, though, to me is just. I feel like this is just a really good spot for him.
Lost in a play, or I guess he fell short of the. Was he losing the playoff, or he fell short of the playoff last year to Abe? I can't remember if Abe won in a playoff or not. But Sam finished runner up along with Fedex.
Yeah, he was. I don't think it was. Maybe it was a playoff. I don't know. But I like Sam Burns a lot, and I feel like he's still going to get ignored. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Sung Jae's right there, and Morikawa. You're right. Maybe Morikawa gets ownership off of Burns. You got a Hideki in here, who I do like. He's scary, scares the hell out of me, but I do like him this week also. If I'm with you though, I think the cash play is definitely Billy Horschel. He just looks like
Jay, but I mean you save some money with Billy.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Sam Burns is pretty crazy last year. Like for him to lose, he lost almost 3 strokes off the tee because he sprayed it everywhere. But he gained 10.6 on and around the greens. Like, and that's what I'm talking about when you think about somebody who's comfortable on Bermuda and a guy who's comfortable on grainy Bermuda. That is Sam Burns. The fact that you lost 3 strokes off the tee on a course like this that can be quite penal off the tee, with a lot of hazards and all that stuff, like that's pretty damn crazy. Okay, he did lose in a playoff. That's right. Producer Sam. I forgot if it went to a playoff or not. Thank you, Producer Sam and Parm 23. He missed a 3-footer. See, we have terrible golf memories here, so I don't know what to tell you.
Is Sam Burns probably one of the first, like when ownership numbers start to come out tomorrow, he's going to be like the first one that I look at. I'm trying to look for. I feel like there's always like one or two that when I'm looking at ownership projections that I just immediately scan for their names, and he's going to be one of them.
I don't think he's going to be as sneaky as you think he is, though. Like, if people are going to ignore Morikawa like we think they will, or like you think they will, and
those are the two names actually that I'm going to be looking for in the ownership.
Burns and M, Burns, M, and Kim may actually be the chalk plays. This is an interesting range. I mean, yeah, I could see growing affection for Shane Lowry coming down the stretch before Thursday lineup locks as well, even though he pissed me off last week. Freaking 80, finished 83rd, but he lost 7.4 strokes putting. That was his worst putting performance in 131 measured golf tournaments on the PGA Tour. It was his worst putting performance last week. Ridiculous. So you got to figure that goes the better direction for Shane Lowry. All right, that's enough of the 8K range. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday night in the Nut Hut chat. 7K. Some 7K bitches. All right, hey, hold on. Before we do that, producer Sam, take the graphic off screen. Sorry. I got to tell some people about some major announcements with the Golby's Cup. Now, if you've already watched or listened to the betting show, this will be repeated content, but I want to make sure both the betting listeners and the DFS listeners get this because it's important. So you can fast forward if you've already heard this. By the way, Pat, this is unrelated. Don't fast forward through this. Have you ever listened to our show, our own show, at half speed?
No.
It is hysterical. It's hysterical. Okay. Now I'm
going to assume this is not hysterical because of you. It's hysterical.
No, it's both. It is 100% both. But yes, you are even funnier. But yes, it is 100% both. I was messing around with the podcast app the other night. I first of all, big time hack. Okay, we're all, thanks to COVID, we all spend less time in our car commuting to and from work or whatever it may be. So you may not have time to listen to all your favorite podcasts. Well, definitely recommend listening at 1.25 or 1.5 speed to all of your podcasts because it's just easy and you could just blaze through stuff a lot quicker, especially us slow talking Southerners. But if you just got a few extra time, a few extra minutes on your hands, you probably can't do this for very long. But listening to our show at half speed is hilarious. Very, very funny. I highly recommend it. I was just messing around with it the other night on the back porch. I was drinking and watching a thunderstorm like an old fart and just like messing around. And it was hilarious. You got to give it a shot. Anyway, Golby's Cup, the live event in September that is happening now in just over a month, Pat. It will be here. The very first live Tour Junkies golf event in Pottsville, Pennsylvania at Mountain Valley. I'm so excited. Mountain Valley is a wonderful venue. They've been extremely hospitable. I played the course a couple of months ago. Both courses, they're beautiful. We're going to play both of them. One on Friday, one on Saturday. Valley course on Friday, I think. Mountain course on Saturday. Yes, that's right. And lovely facility, lovely people. The food is great. The beer is great. Everything is great about this place. And they're letting us do whatever we want at this golf tournament. Whatever we want. You can camp on the driving. You can bring tent materials. You can bring whatever. People are doing that. You can camp out on the driving range for free if you want. You can bring an RV or some sort of camper situation. Park it in the parking lot for free. Camp out right there. Or we do have hotel rooms blocked off just 3 miles away. There's still some rooms available. A lot of people are staying there. All the event details are in the description below of the video or the podcast. But there's a couple of key things you need to know. If you want to play in the Golby's Cup portion of the weekend, which is the Friday portion, that is Team DB versus Team Pat, the head-to-head battle that is going to be epic. Ryder Cup style event. If you want to do that, the last day that you can sign up for that event is next Friday, the Friday of the BMW Championship. That is it. We're cutting the teams off at that point. We need an even number on both sides. We're pretty close to full anyway right now. There's a couple of spots left on each team. If you want that, you need to go on Eventbrite. Go in the description below. Buy your ticket to the 2-day VIP Friday and Saturday. That will get you in. You'll select your team. You have to pick either Team DB or Team Pat when you register. And all that's closing down. So whoever has signed up by next Friday, that's it. You're done. That's it. No more after that. After next Friday, you can still sign up for the Saturday event, the Saturday Scramble. But Pat, the Friday event's going to be amazing. We talked about this on the betting show, but it's some of the most loyal TJ followers we have picking sides. That Friday afternoon, we're going to go off one by one, groups of 4. I'm going to send 2 out. You're going to send 2 out, just like the Ryder Cup. We're all going to be gathered around the first tee, music playing, beer and liquor drinks flowing, and we're going to send you boys off to battle it out for Team DB or Team Pat. It's going to be epic. Okay. Me and Pat are going to be riding around. We're not playing. We're riding around as captains, motivating our guys, shit talking the rest of the crew, the losers on Pat's team. We're going to be making sure your drinks are full, your bellies are full, you're happy as you can be. The food, the beer, the wine, the signature cocktails are all included in your ticket price. You're going to play your match. And then we're going to have an epic shootout between me and Pat, a 3-hole epic shootout where all the carts are going to be gathered around one hole. There's going to be music blaring, beer and liquor flowing. We're going to battle it out. Okay, that's going to be great. Whatever team wins, my team, we will be celebrating there on, right there on the 18th green. And we're going to have, beer flowing. There's gifts for the championship team. The losing captain will have to pay a punishment right there on the spot, either Friday or Saturday. Still debating on what that punishment should be. If you have any suggestions, send them to us. So far, we're thinking about Pat having to dress up in hockey pads and run out on the driving range and do some sort of obstacle course while my team fires
the assumptions that are made in this whole read that you're dealing with right now are just ridiculous, but whatever. Keep doing it.
It's going to be a great weekend, okay? It's going to be an absolutely tremendous weekend. But the reason we're cutting it off is because we got to start figuring out some more things with our teams. Pat's team's working on their uniforms, right? Their team uniforms. They got logos and stuff. They've done all this stuff because Pat has all this spare time on his hands. And then, but we're going to have walk-up songs. We got to email our teams. We got to start emailing and DMing our teams to figure out who's playing with who, what people are wearing, when you get on site that Friday, you're eating lunch with your team, you're warming up with your team. F the other guys. It's all business until Friday night happens and we party. Okay, it's going to be a great weekend. You're in a legal gambling state. You got college football going on Saturday, along with the President's Cup Saturday. We'll watch some President's Cup highlights on Friday when we get done playing. President's Cup and NFL week 3, I think, on Sunday. It's going to be a great time. But if you want to get in on the 2-day VIP ticket and the Ryder Cup event, there are only a handful left. And after next Friday, no more. So that's it. All right, Pat, anything else you got to say about that? Or are you good? Great. All right, moving on to the 7K range.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's talk 7K range, Pat. You got Max Homa leading it off, Tyrrell Hatton at 7,800, Russell Henley in there, Davis Riley's in there, Keegan's in there doing something. It's probably something shady and nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bezadenhout's in there being average and stuff. HV3, my boy from our interview we just drops in there. JT Poston, Siwoo, we go home now, up in there at 7,300. Anyway, let's talk about the 7K range. I'll tell you one of my favorite plays in here, and I love him in cash as well. And he's $7,600. And it's the Canadian Corey Connors. I'm all in on Corey Connors this week. I'm probably going to bet him. I'm playing him in DFS. I'm a believer. Ball striking's been solid. Ball striking is going to keep him out of the trouble here at TPC Southwind. A lot of water hazards, a lot of trouble. All that's going to keep him out of trouble. Just need to make a few more putts than normal, and we're good. Okay, Coco. So Corey Connors for me is a cash play. The avoid play for me is probably, and I hate to do this, he was the chalk bomb at the Open Championship, and it paid off. He missed the cut. I'm fading Max Homa, and I hate to fade Max Homa. I love Max Homa. I love the total driving ability with Max Homa. I love the iron play. What I don't love is his complete inability to chip and putt on Bermuda, and that is a problem here at TPC Southwind. So Max Homa for me is a fade in the top part of this category, 7,900. There's a lot of names in here that I like. Some of them we talked about on the betting show. Scott Stallings is still really hard for me to avoid. I feel like he could be chalk at his price. The Tennessee guy, Tennessee connections, has played well here in the past. He has not played in the WGC events, but played well at the St. Jude Classic. Continues to play lights out golf right now. Scott Stallings is hard to avoid. JT Poston I mentioned in the betting show. Chris Kirk I like. Keith Mitchell's interesting. Aaron Wise is popping. What do we think, Pat? Who do you like in here?
Yeah, well, at the top, Tyrrell Hatton. I like Tyrrell Hatton at 7,800. I think he's a good play.
Tyrrell Hatton.
Tyrrell Hatton. You look at the stats for him. One of the things I'm looking at is par 4 scoring 450 to 500 yards. He checks that box. There's a lot of long par 4s on this golf course. Only 2 par 5s. So I think that's good for him. He putts well on Bermuda grass greens, good scrambler. So I do like Hatton there at 7,800. Also, I like Mito. Pereira at 7,500. Checking a lot of boxes also, especially your ball striking and approach, those type stats. We haven't seen him since the Open Championship and played bad over in Scotland. But before that, had a pretty good run going. I think he can get it, turned around back to where his form was. So I do like Mito, and I think we might get a little bit of ownership leverage on him as well at 7,500. I like that. Cam Davis, the Australian, 7,200. Another one that I like this week. Has 2 straight top 20 finishes. He's 16th in the field in ball striking, 15th in approach. So with a good play lately, the cheap price for Cam Davis at 7,200, I'm a fan. I like some Cam Davis. And I like Scott Stallings too. I'm with you there on just the way he's playing. I think if I'm fading a guy, for me, it's probably I don't mind the Homa fade. I think Seamus Power is somebody that a lot of people, for some reason, are probably going to get on this week. He's got some decent history here. He's 7th in the field in total strokes gained at this golf course over his last few rounds. But he hadn't been playing well lately. Was terrible at the Open Championship. Burned a lot of people. Seamus Power, to me, I think is going to be the guy I'm going to fade this week.
What do you think about Shestickle Reevy, buddy? Shez Reevy's
this is a Shez course.
His record at Southwind is pretty sick. He's played here 6 times. His worst finish is a 27th. He has 2 6th-place finishes and a 4th and a 12th to go with that. He actually gained, in 6 attempts, he's gained strokes putting in 4 out of 6 years, which is hard to say about Shez Reevy literally anywhere else. And, with how he's played lately, obviously he just won the Barracuda. His irons have been very solid lately. He hits a ton of fairways, which is really important here at Southwind. But his putting has been pretty crappy. I mean, if he can continue to hit his irons the way he does and putt TPC Southwind like he has most of the time when he's arrived at this golf course at 7,100, I mean, Shez is interesting. Shez and Stallings right there at 7,100 feel like very solid guys that, like, I mean, obviously, 124-man field, top 65 in ties are going to be a high 6-6 percentage. And you want guys, I already said this, you want guys that have high upside. Let's play high upside, cheap plays. Let's not play for a high floor but low ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, on this course, Stallings and Shez have high ceilings here. Like, I could see Shez Reevy finish in top 10. I could see Scott Stallings winning the golf tournament. I mean, Shesticle's interesting.
Yeah, I like Ches. I mean, I think he's one of those that always just kind of scares me to play. And then he's going to end up showing up on the leaderboard. I'm going to be pissed off because he's not in my lineups. But
I have a hard time playing a guy named Shez who looks like, he looks like a bus driver. I mean, he's just a short, fat, kind of squatty dude, and he hits it, 268 on a good day, with a high heat index and elevation. And that just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fun to click a name like that. But
I mean, his appearance had nothing to do with me being scared to play him. It was just like his golf abilities.
For me, like, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't.
You're so judgmental on golfers and how they look.
I just don't. If you're really, to me, it's like in 2022. If you're just a soft ass, if you're just soft and pudgy, and you look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, I have a hard time clicking your name because, like, hey, Tiger showed us that all, like, what you need to do, take care of yourself, be a peak physical specimen, and it's hard for me to click a guy named Shez.
John Daly
is
the most
John Daly is
peak physical specimen out there and has more talent in his taint than you have in your hands, in your body, in anywhere.
Whoa.
I mean, and then
You will not tell me another man's taint is more talented than these hands.
I'm just telling you that he is super, super golf talented, and he smokes 1,000 packs a day and drinks beer every day. And
John Daly is a massive exception back in the 90s. Yes. I don't know. I'm like, Shez, get in the damn gym. Like the PGA Tour brings a literal mobile gym to every event that they only let players in. And that could be you. Go in there and do some thrusters or something. God dang. Do some do some burpees. Have a burpee or two. Just do something. But don't so I have a hard time when you do that and you hit it 260. Like maybe this is your problem. But then you can go and win an event like the Barracuda, and I can keep having to watch you for the next 2 years and click on your name every now and then, like at TPC Southwind.
There's a lot of disagreement in the look of golfers here, but we could get into it. But anyway, I do like Chess, regardless of what he looks
I do
like.
too. Oh, I forgot to mention this for the live golf event. I just went on this whole thing about the live golf event, but I forgot there's a magic show at the live golf event. Pat is going to be doing a magic show
Magic
on
trick.
either Friday evening or Saturday at some point. He's going to be doing a magic show.
One trick.
Bet that he lost. It's going to be a great magic show. It'll be one of the best magic shows you've ever been to. So Pat will be doing that in front of everybody for everybody to see. I'm excited about it.
It's a magic trick, and the magic trick could happen anytime. And it may even not happen
at any time. No, it will happen at the event. It will happen at the event.
No. You're adding on a lot of things to this. I did not agree to this bet.
Pat, what kind of man of the people are you if you don't do the magic trick at the event? These people pay money to come meet you.
I'm not falling for this trick, Sam. This is Sam's idea, and I'm not falling for it. So you can shut it, Sam. You're going to disappoint a lot of people by doing these things that you do behind people's backs and you don't even talk.
No, you're going to disappoint. I guarantee you, if we poll the audience, will you be disappointed if Pat doesn't do his magic trick? And 100%,
I may do a magic trick, but I'm not going to be forced to do it. I could do it on the show, which is what I was planning.
No, we'll cut the feed. I'll end the stream. If you start doing a magic show on the show, I'll end the stream. What you gonna do then? You just got outgunned and outmanned at your own game. If I were,
I have lived 45 years of life on this earth. Okay, I've been through a lot of things in my life. I have a family, a wonderful family. I met you 7, 8 years ago. I met Sam probably 2 years ago. I've learned one thing in my life so far that I'm going to tell you right now. Another man as yourself is not going to tell me what the fuck I'm going to do. So guess what? I may not do the fucking magic trick, or I may do it. So you can go fuck yourself if you think I'm going to do a magic trick, because I'm not. I may do it in the next week's show. I may do it whenever the hell I want to, but I'm not going to do a damn magic show that you or any other male is telling me what to do.
What if a female told you? Why do you keep saying male?
If Sally told me to, then maybe I'll do it. I damn sure not going to do it as Sam or David are telling me to, because y'all sure as hell aren't telling me what my life is going to be like.
What if Sam's mom told you? She's a very nice lady.
I have not met Sam's mom.
What if Sam's mom told you that, though?
I'm sure Sam's mom is a lovely mom. But if I'm still not doing what she tells me to do, she's not my mom.
Guys, I mean, just when you think you know somebody and you think Pat's a man of the people, and he's not. All right, let's do our let's do our 6K draft. Guys, last week
was amazing.
Last week was lightning in a bottle.
And I tied it up, by the way. It's 2-2.
You did tie it up. It's 2-2. We did our 6K draft, and all 12 of our drafted golfers made the cut. All 12 made the cut. We had 6 of 6 in our 6K only lineups. Pat's lineup, I looked. Every contest I entered, your 6K lineup would have cashed easily. Like, easily would have cashed your 6K lineup.
It was good. It was better than any lineup I put together on my own, like with a lot of thought.
God,
What
unbelievable.
did I score? Like 475 points or something?
No, I think it was 491. I'll tell you. You scored 491.5 points. You beat me by almost 100 points with your 6K lineup. Your 6K lineup had Brandon Wu, James Hahn, Peter Malnati, Justin Lauer, bless his heart, Scott Brown, and Bo Hogue, which doesn't sound like it would be all that great, but that lineup scored 491.5 points. Jeez. All right, let's do this. Let's get to the 6K draft. Pat, I'll let you go first. Make it, take it. You won, so you get to start.
All right. Well, I am going to start at 6,800 with a guy. I think that he's had
Damn it.
three out of his last four starts, top 20 finishes. Alex Somali.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought you were gonna go.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay. I will go also at 6,800, and I'm going to take Taylor Moore. Dude's
Ooh,
been
okay. I
playing.
had last week.
Yes, dude's been playing. Well, you didn't have him in that lineup, but
No, but I didn't.
no, he was not in your 6K lineup.
He was on my betting card.
5th place finish, 6th place finish, last 2 events. He's found a little something. I'll take the young kid, Taylor Moore.
Now we have to go one under 6,500, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of a steal here, I think, and I'm going to take Kurt Kitayama under 64.
Oh, damn you!
I like Kitayama. I think this is a good fit, and the guy's been playing fantastic this year. So,
Oh my God, what an asshat! You know what? For that, I'm doing this on you. I am taking your 2-gloved iron cover son of a gun, Aaron Rye at 6,800. I'm taking Aaron Rye, who's played really well here before, played very well here before at TPC Southwind in the WGC events. Very accurate player, precision player, Aaron Rye.
Damn it! All right, now I gotta reset a little bit. Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to Brandon Wu this week at 6,800, coming off that top 10 last week, T30 at the Rocket Mortgage, another top 10 back at the Scottish Open. So I'll go back to Brandon Wu. Don't get him confused with Dylan Wu, who, by the way, probably isn't in the field.
Who lost his card. Yeah, he lost his card.
Brandon Wu.
All right, well, there's a name in here that a couple of weeks ago, this guy, it was just a couple weeks ago, he was coming in horrible form. He had missed the cut in like 5 or 6 straight events. And I had a feeling about him. And I didn't act on the feeling. Pat, you talk about this all the time. You talk about the gut plays,
Mm-hmm.
I had a gut feeling and I didn't act on it. And he finished 4th at the 3M Open. I'm rolling with Tom Hoge at 6,800. I mean, when you look at Tom Hoge down here, he feels like a name that has upside, right? Like this is the range where we really want to go for upside. I think Tom has it. I love it.
Okay. Who else am I going to go with here? I think that I will go to. This is not an exciting name, but he's actually made a lot of cuts recently, coming off of a top 25 finish, top 40 just a couple weeks ago, or at the Rocket Mortgage. Russell Knox, 6,500.
You know what I noticed about Russell Knox? Remember when Diane, his sister, told us that he got glasses?
Yes.
Have you seen what's happened to his putting since he got glasses?
I have not looked.
And she also said that he changed his putting. I don't know. He did something with his putter. He changed his putting stroke, or he changed how he putts. Look at his last. She told us that before the Scottish, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He finished 42nd at the Scottish. And I don't know what he did with the putter. But then at the Rocket Mortgage, he gained 3.5 strokes putting. Then at the Wyndham last week, he gained 4.8 strokes putting. The last time he put 2 weeks back to back like that together was in February and January of 2020. He does it basically like once a year, maybe. So I think that's an interesting thing on Russell Knox. Okay. I'm going with a guy who can chip and scramble around greens with the best of them, who's rounding into some form, who hits a ton of fairways, finished 27th at the Wyndham, finished 11th at the 3M Open, made cuts, decent showouts at the John Deere, the Travelers, and even a 31st place finish at the U.S. Open. Give me Andrew Putnam.
Okay. I like Putnam too.
6,600.
We liked him last week, and he did pretty well.
Yeah, 27.
All right, I'm going to drop to 6,500 again. I'm taking some cheap guys this week. I'm going to go with Trey Mullinax.
Damn it!
500. A guy that's played well recently. Ever since he won a couple weeks ago, made his 2 cuts after that. He's played well at this course. Before his freak injury and everything else. So I like Trey Mullinax. I'll go with him at 6,500. So I got one more, and you've got what? 2 more.
2 more. I didn't think you were going to take Mullinax because you snatched Kitayama down there. I didn't think you were going to go that low again. Okay. I'm going to ride with a guy who I've been very bullish on all year. I was not on last week. I wish I would have been. But I'm going to roll with little David Lipsky. Little David at 6,500, 27th at the Wyndham, 37th at the Rocket Mortgage, top 25 at the Deer. I like Lipsky. I'm going to roll with him.
Okay.
All right, your last pick.
Last pick going up to 6,700. I'm going to go with Amish Troy Merritt.
A good one. I like that. I like Troy Merritt.
Yeah. Top 15 a few weeks ago.
All right, I have to pick my sub 6,500 guy, and I'm torn between 2 guys. One guy that I really like overall, and then another guy that I can't stand, and I literally never play him, but all the boxes, in terms of as much boxes as you can check for this guy in this range. You know what, though? But I'm going to go with upside, and I don't think that guy has enough upside. I'm going to go with Hayden Buckley. I've been talking about Hayden Buckley last couple of weeks. I'm going to get back on it. He actually made the cut last week, but he had already left the golf course. So so then he basically withdrew. So I'm going with Hayden Buckley. So there we go.
That's
team.
Crazy to me. You're going to make the cut and then you just leave because you don't want to.
I don't understand. Shane Lowry did the same thing and then got on a jet and flew back. All right. My team is Taylor Moore, Aaron Rye, Tom Hoagie, Andrew Putnam, David Lipsky, and Hayden Buckley. That's my 6K team.
Mine is Alex Smalley, Brandon Wu, Russell Knox, Kurt Kitayama, Troy Merritt, and Trey Mullinax.
I really hope now Kurt Kitayama trunk slams and pisses you off because
I love this
team.
I love this team. I think this team's better than last week's team that did really well.
We need to enter it in a real contest then, just in case.
Yeah, I should have done
the
that.
All 6K, just the All 6K lineup. Hey, look, that's it for us. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Drop a comment to us. Don't forget the Listener League finals this week. Don't forget to sign up for the Golby's Cup. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. May your screen